Welcome to the. Oh, I need to record this. This is a YouTube exclusive right now. We live on YouTube.
Hey. Hi.
Hi. How awkward. Hi. Like we've been exposed.
Hey.
Hi. Like you're seeing behind the curtain right now. Ah! They exist. They're real. All right. We forget to hit record over here.
Oh God.
All right.
Record.
I think we're good. Boo. Here we go.
Okay. Oh no, we're recording. It's the podcast.
It's the podcast, everyone.
All shocking.
And we're back. Episode number 51 of Kramer and Jess Uncensored. I'm not going to say the joke today.
Don't say it.
I'm not.
It only feels good on even days.
I'm only going to do a milestone every 5.
Yeah, that's fair.
So 55, I'll hit it again.
Like,
I feel like the people show up for the joke, though.
No, they don't.
The podcast feels incomplete if we don't
don't.
make the joke at the beginning.
They don't care.
No?
They're like, shut up.
Stop talking.
Yeah, they're like, stop. What?
We're just here for Jess.
Yeah. I mean,
Fast forward through all this nonsense.
I'm like, you're like nipples, huh? I'm like, can I
Can I
tell
cry?
my story first, please? Before you ask questions about nipples, and that's literally, he's like, can we talk about nipples today?
What?
You guys think I'm joking? Literally, before we start, he's like, can I talk about nipples today? And I'm like, you know what? Who fucking cares anymore? Like,
your life's over anyway.
I'm literally like, honestly, I don't give a fuck. Like, nothing shocks me.
Why does any of this matter?
Nothing shocks me from you anymore. You're
Welcome
like,
to.
Can we talk about vagina today? I'm like, shut up.
You're in a mood. I'm not sure we're ready for this episode. Julie G, welcome. She's finally catching us live on the YouTube show. This show is also live on YouTube. So you can actually interact with the Uncensored podcast as we do it. And also, Tiny T checking in. Thank you so much. And just search Kramer and just go to kramerandjess.com to find out the YouTube link. Or if you're on YouTube and you want to go find the podcast link,
you can always watch it on YouTube too.
It's all
after
up
the
there.
fact.
Yeah.
Yes.
Before we get into this, I feel like we haven't discussed what just happened in the studio.
Oh,
because
go
I
ahead.
feel like you feel like I was like degrading this woman, and I'm like, that's
I would always hate it when like people would ask me dumbass questions like that. It'd be like my dad be like, can you give me the controller when it's literally right there, but just because I'm like 2 inches closer, I'm like, you get the fucking controller yourself. Like, I'm sick of it.
Stephanie, hop on. You want to hop on really quick? Stephanie is
Stephanie,
the newest member of the Kramer and Jess family. I think you're on. Are you on? Are you on 5?
Am I?
Yeah, she's on.
Hi. We can't really see the video of you now, though. This seems. I'll send you.
That's okay. You can hear me.
I'll send you a video link really quick.
Okay.
So.
Oh my God.
Jess is acting like I'm over here asking just ridiculous questions.
No,
I just asked Stephanie to drive to Pennsylvania to go do something for me.
Let me tell you.
Okay.
Because I just think, and honestly, I don't think it's like a big deal just to like do shit. So he asked her to open the blind, something that he always does every single day and has been doing before she got here, before she was in his studio.
Yeah.
If he wants to open his blinds in his studio, he opens them. And when he wants to close them in his studio, he closes them. Just because Stephanie is now sitting there closer to the blinds, she's like, can you please do me a little favor and close the blinds? He asked her to do that first when she got here. And then now, a couple hours later, now he wants them closed. He's like, can I ask you for another favor? Like, can you, and like after that's like, oh, since you're going out there, can you get me a cup of coffee? Like, oh, can you get me a fork? Like, no. Like, don't ask her to do unrelated radio things that she's supposed to. Like, opening the blinds and getting you a tissue or a freaking napkin from the kitchen is not.
That's not what I asked.
That's not her thing.
That's not what I asked.
But asking someone to opening the blinds is the same shit, and like that's the same category as all the other bullshit you might ask her.
In the video, actually, when Stephanie logs in here, hey, I need to mute her, right, Jess? Is that how it works?
Yeah, mute. Make sure you're muted on there, Steph.
Okay.
There she is.
There she is. Okay, so this is Stephanie. She's our newest team member. We're happy. She does a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. We haven't brought her on the air yet because we just haven't. We got to make sure she survives first. All these crazy requests that Kramer's throwing her way. So, Stephanie, I want you to actually show, like, if you're watching the YouTube show, you can actually show your setup and how close you are to the actual blinds. Now, if you're asking why the blinds need to be open and closed, it's because when we're doing video stuff, this blind behind me needs to be closed because if not, it's got a ton of backlight. Like, see, Stephanie's blind's not closed. It washes her out, right? I'm not telling you what to do with your own blinds. You do what you want with your own blinds, okay? But I'm saying, so earlier today I looked over there and I was like, oh, like that blind is open. It needs to be closed. Or it was closed and it needed to be open because I get a little claustrophobic in here if the blinds are closed. So Stephanie now, keep in mind, can you show them where you sit?
Yes.
In comparison to where I sit, because can you reach it without getting up? Can you even reach the blinds? No, but
I
like
can scoot over in my chair.
Oh, she can scoot. Wait, how many scooches in the chair was that, by the way? Was
Like
that
2, 3.
All I said to her was, if you ever don't feel like opening and closing his blinds, you have the right to say that. That's all I fucking said.
That's not what you said.
I was like, if you never want to,
Kramer
if you
sits
never want
right
to do that,
across from
he's like, don't listen to her, and I'm like, yeah, if you don't want to open those blinds,
Ridiculous.
Don't do
okay.
it.
So now Stephanie, can you turn your camera around and show the process I would have to go through to open these blinds? 'Cause I
Yes.
want you to actually
So,
see. So I'm over
Kramer
here.
have to
oh
walk
no,
me.
not
Okay.
3 more steps.
on.
It's almost like him waiting 13 minutes to get seated by
all
a
the way over
fucking by a hostess
all
at
the
a
way over
restaurant,
here.
because he hates that.
Still coming.
He
Hang
walks
on,
out of
coming,
restaurants if they don't
still
talk to
coming,
him in the
still
first 5
coming.
minutes.
And then I've got to open this blind.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I've got to go back over here.
Oh no.
Okay.
You've been doing that. You've been
Still
doing that
going.
every day before she got
Still
there.
going.
You've been having to do that every
Still
day
going.
before she got there.
And Jess was like, "Oh my God, girl, don't ever let a man keep you down like that," or
That's
something like that.
not-
What did you
no.
say?
Okay, complete lie. I said, don't let him make you do dumb shit like that. If you don't feel like opening the blinds when you're actually like doing something else, don't do it. That's what I said.
Now,
That's
keep
what I
in
said.
mind, I want to remind you, this is the same girl, Jessica Dutra, that asked me to ask Stephanie to go get breakfast for her on Friday. True or false?
No, I asked you to text her because she was already at Royal Farms. She was literally already there.
Okay.
That's why
I'm
she's not
pointing-
going out of her way. She's already getting out of her car and going inside Royal Farms.
And you think that's less stupid of shit?
Because I'm not asking her, can you go there for me? She's already going there to get orange juice. I'm like, hey, girl, while you're there, can you just give me something?
And you think a
but
scooch,
I didn't.
1 to 2 scooches of a chair to ask someone to do something is worse than
all I did
picking
was
up
tell her,
breakfast.
I'm like, if you don't want, she's not picking up breakfast for me. She was doing that on her own, something that she wanted to do. I'm never gonna ask her, hey, can you go get me coffee? Hey, can you go do this for me? I'm never gonna do that to her.
Stephanie, when I asked you to open, and be honest, when I asked you to open and close the blinds, did you feel some kind of certain way, honestly?
No.
Of course she's gonna say no because she's just been working here for 5 days, ladies and gentlemen.
I think it's been 2 weeks.
two whole weeks.
Actually, 2 weeks. Sorry, first night shirt.
So Julie G, by the way, says that she's on my side. Thank you. It's just literally it's just
I
asking
honestly,
someone.
I mean, I don't care. I just wanted to tell her that.
JC also on my side. Thank you, JC. And then Roxana, this is a little bit of a throwback.
You remember that, Roxanne?
What does that say, Jess, for those listening to the podcast?
He does like eating people's snacks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's throwing shade because Kramer would eat people's food without asking and just like put his hands in like their Ziploc bag.
Pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID,
Pre-COVID.
whatever. All like eating them, putting his hands back in the bag. Oh man,
That's fine.
that was so much drama.
It was. And like literally the guy we used to work with
It was so
like
much
was
drama. Because you did it. Because honestly, the disrespect you had, it was so nasty. Like I would be pissed too.
He was
and of
so
course
mad.
he couldn't because obviously the difference in positions and all that kind of shit. So he didn't feel like he could tell him like stop fucking harassing my banana snack.
This guy, he brought in these like banana chips.
Different snacks all the time, and Kramer with no
I was like,
asking.
hey, let me.
No,
I think I did ask.
No. You're asking like, oh, what's up with that? What's up with those? What's up with those was already on the way, and your hand was already on the way inside the bag. It's not like, hey, may I have some, please? It was, what's up with those? And hand already in his bag, of Ziploc bag that were protected, and then not protected anymore. And then you would go back and forth in between breaks and eat his shit.
If someone has,
Oh, and his pineapple. You remember Roxana? He was so excited he brought pineapple one morning. It was like a delicacy. It was a treat,
What if
And
he
this
was a
fall-
diabetic and needed those snacks?
thank you. Now what, Jess? Now what? Now what are you
No,
gonna say?
she's talking about C-Riz. What if C-Riz was a diabetic and he needed those snacks? That's what she's talking
Oh.
about.
He's not
You're
diabetic.
taking
He's fine. That man's still fine. I think.
Alright.
I don't know. I haven't heard from him.
But yeah, that whole exchange was like 5 minutes. We just made that hella drama for no reason.
Okay,
That's it.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Everybody got the drama out. Okay, so Stephanie, really quick, a quick introduction of you. Tell people 3 fun facts about Stephanie, behind the scenes Stephanie as of right now.
Oh my goodness, 3 fun
Fun
facts.
fact. By the way, I hate when people say
I'm
3
like-
fun facts. It's like the worst thing that somebody can throw at you. But here goes new girl Stephanie.
Totally
and,
on the spot, but
or just how about just three things that we should know about you,
3
Just-
things.
just in general.
I am a diabetic,
Okay.
by the way.
Not the funnest of fact, but we'll start with that.
No,
Okay.
but
All right.
hey, shout out to all my diabetes out there.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Diabetes?
diabetes, type
That's
1
cute.
diabetics.
I
We
like
call
that.
each other diabetes.
Okay.
I think it's fantastic.
I'm into it.
I have a motorcycle license, but I don't have a bike, which I'm sad about.
Oh, that's cool.
Wait.
Yes.
Why? Have you never had one? Or
No, I just, during COVID, I was like, I don't have anything else to do. I'm in quarantine. I might as well just go to Harley Davidson and get my motorcycle license. So I just did that for like when no one else was doing anything.
That's kind of cool, right? Why not?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
And then one more thing we need to know about you.
I love working here.
Aw, see,
I love the show.
She might have suck up at
Kramer
all,
and
Jess.
Jess.
See, she loves us.
I do not mind closing the blinds, and I do enjoy working here. I love radio. It's fantastic. Definitely my dream job. So
Aw.
thanks for having me.
You're very sweet.
Thank you.
We love having you here too. We really do.
yeah.
She's been a
Yeah.
great asset to the team so far. So there you go. That's Stephanie. Goodbye. Okay. Okay. Bye. Bye. I just.
You're such a dick. Get off. You're done.
I just turned her mic off before she was done talking.
Off. No.
That's so rude.
You're such a dick.
Let's talk about nipples. No, we'll talk about nipples later.
No, I always get to go first. We
Yeah,
are
because
discussing- your dumbass shit goes after me. Okay. Let me fucking do my thing first, and then you can say whatever the fuck you want after. I don't care. Sick of it.
What's wrong with you today?
Okay.
What's going? Jess had a low-key meltdown today, but I don't think that we really articulated the meltdown that was happening behind the scenes.
No, I kept it super low key.
Yeah, but literally, I felt like your whole mood changed
I was like, what?
in the middle of that whole bit. I think like you're having some realization. So let's catch you up to speed, because if you were here for last week's podcast, you know that Garage Boy's mom was in town for the very first time.
Yes.
If you listen to the radio show, you found out that, or if you listen to the on-demand show, you'll find out that actually it did go really smooth.
No, and it did go smooth, and it was a lot of fun. And it's not, I know, like, for teasing purposes, I was like, it was good until this one thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what it was. It was mainly
It was
like,
until it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't even like that. Like, it was so much fun. She's so sweet. It was so cute seeing them together. We got to take her to the Bruno Mars concert. I guess that was her first real concert ever. Like, ever. She's never been to anything like that before.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was a very special experience. And Garage Boy.
Great show, by the way, too.
Awesome show.
I would not consider myself a Bruno Mars fan. Like, I mean, I think I love 24 Karat album, but
you're just like radio hits.
it's just whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I will say with that album, I deep dived and like would listen to it on repeat. I'm pretty
Good
well
music,
versed.
yeah.
Great album, right? But I wouldn't like if people ask me my top 10 favorite artists, like Bruno Mars, like wouldn't come to mind,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But we had a chance to get tickets at the very last minute, and we were like, that'd be cool to take our moms, because both of our moms were in town. Excellent
Garage Boy's
show.
mom. Garage Boy's mom.
Garage Boy.
Have to be married first to call her my mom. So
What's wrong with you?
Garage Boy's mom and your mom.
Okay, so yes, Garage Boy's mom and my mom. Correction.
Okay.
We're both here.
Okay.
So great week though. Would you say great week you had?
Yes.
Great.
Yes. The thing is though, is when the only time I was by myself with her was yesterday when we were waiting for Garage Boy to get off work, and so I was with her for a couple of hours. And, like, I went and got her Starbucks and went and did some things, whatever. And I come home and, like, we're talking about a lot of stuff. And she shared a lot of information with me about him and, like, his upbringing and all this kind of stuff that I was not expecting. I didn't ask for any of it at
Right.
all. Like, she's just, like, talking to me about things.
You think she's nervous talking at this point?
No, she's
she just wanted
she's
to,
not
like-
a nervous woman.
Yeah.
She's just, like, doing whatever she wants, saying whatever she wants, just living her life.
Here it comes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at one point, she's like, I'm talking to her about, like, you know, what she does. She lives in Alaska and she works 2 jobs. And one part-time job is literally just for fun to keep busy. And
Yeah.
she's 64. And I was like, when are you going to retire and, like, relax? And, you know, and I mean, like, you don't have to be doing all that. And she's like, I don't have to. Like, I could retire next year, but I'm going to be bored. Like, I'm going to keep working so I'm not bored. And I like
Valid.
making friends or whatever, you know. And then that way I'm just waiting for you guys to have kids so then I can take care of your kids. And, like, that's what I'm going to do.
Right.
You know? And so then, and before that, like, when she first got here, on the first day she got here, one comment she made was, I told Garage Boy that when he has kids, he has a babysitter.
Right.
Is what she said, right? So that was the first thing she said to me. I thought that was kind of like the one comment that she was going to make.
But that's pretty generic. That could be any woman at that point. Whoever he ends up marrying.
Right.
Right. Sure.
So I was like, okay, whatever. You know,
Yeah.
that's in the beginning of the trip. Now this is at the end of the trip, and it's just her and I.
Mhm.
And then so I'm like, so are you going to move all the way from Alaska to do that? Is what I said. And she goes,
Did you say here, or you just said you left it generic
I
too?
just said all the way from Alaska.
Because you were probably watching your words and everything else
Exactly.
too. You know?
exactly. And so, and then she goes, yes, like, then I'll move in with you and take care of the kids. Yeah, you know? And it wasn't mean. It wasn't like bossy. It wasn't like aggressive.
It's just like, here, this is the plan.
It was like, this is the plan.
Did it seem like she was like doing you a favor?
No, it's like, this is...
Or was it matter of fact?
It was matter of fact.
Of like, this is what I'm going to do.
Like, that's my role for my son and for you and for my grandchildren. And like, I will move in with you because that's the plan.
Yeah.
And he's mentioned that to me before, that, you know, and that is typical in like traditional Filipino families, that, you know, the parents or the mother will move in, you know, and take care of the children and be part of that life with you.
Same with Mexican culture too?
I have friends that are Mexican and like have their, you know, grandparents living with them, you know?
Yeah.
But for sure, like traditional Filipino, like that's what happens. And like my Apu lives down the street. She doesn't live in my parents' house, but like she's walking distance, like I've mentioned before.
Right.
So it is like normal just to have them close.
The family.
Especially because she's by herself too. My Apu's by herself. Garage Boy's mom is by herself. They have a lot of family, but you know, she is by herself.
Right.
And so I've heard him say that to me, but hearing her say that was really almost like a wake up call of like, oh, like that's for real, for real.
Yeah.
And it also made me realize how close that actually is, because it's closer than being further away. And I've always lived my life with like imagining that part of my life being so far away, and it's not.
No.
You know?
So we talked about it on the radio show this morning, and I mean, we kind of turned into a bit, but like the consensus was that like this was her way of saying like, I approve of you, like giving you the approval of, hey, like I'm cool with you being my son's wife. Yeah, pretty much, right?
Which was such like a kind and beautiful thing too, because I'm thinking like she's only been with me for like 6 days, and like you know, she wants to do that.
But she signed off on that. I mean, that's really good.
It's huge. And
we talked about, you could listen to the On Demand show. We talked about like parents and grandparents that are, I guess, parents and parents-in-law that are dropping not so subtle hints. They're ready for grandbabies.
Yeah, it's cute.
So why the meltdown? Like, what's going on? Because emotionally, there's something with that's like stirred you up a little bit, because this is like what you've wanted.
Yes.
Like, this is the life you've wanted. Like, you want to be married. You want to have kids.
Yes.
So why now are you like putting a pause or like a reason to like stop for a second?
It's not a pause either. Like, that's the thing too. It's not a pause. It's almost just like a realization. I think it's just like a wake up call is what it is.
But
like,
you don't seem excited about it.
Because it's not so much not being excited. I think it's like, now it just brought a lot of things to the surface that are important to me, that I know that I need before that happens for me. And when I mean by that, like I had a conversation, you know, with Garage Boy about it, because I don't really like to, we haven't really had like that serious talk of like, when are we getting married? When do you want to do that kind of thing? Yeah. Just because that's not something that I really wanted to do.
You wanted it just to be like a surprise.
Right. Because I think
when the day comes, him to like get down on one knee. And like,
but when she made that comment to me, I'm just like, I don't know if he understands the concerns or has the same concerns that I do. Right. And so I think that's what was kind of alarming to me. Like, are we on the same page? Because now, yes, I always knew that she was moving in with us, but now knowing that that's a very serious thing, not only when I have children am I going to be learning how to be a mother, but I'm also going to be taking care of somebody else's mother. Yeah. Yes, she's going to be there to help like us and my family, and like, and I want that. Like, I love that. Like, I want that relationship for him and his mom. I want that relationship for like with my kids and like their grandparent. Right. Like, I'm so close to my grandparents, and I love that. But that's such a big responsibility to do that, and it's like so much so fast. And so like I need to be married first before all that changes, because you know, I want to have like a solid foundation of being married and like us being in sync and like us having each other's backs before we have outside elements coming in, because it is going to be challenging living with someone's parent, especially that's not your own, you know? And so I think that's where I was just like,
and you're like almost the person in the center of it. Cause let's say you have a baby, like dads are cool, but let's be honest, like moms are where it's at. Right.
You know?
So like now you've got a baby. And like,
so now I don't want to be learning how to be a wife and a mom, and also learning how
like
to
a caregiver in a
also
sense.
to coexist with my in-law all at the same time. And so
Right.
it was very overwhelming because like I don't have time just to like kick it and chill, like, oh, like, yeah, like we can get married in a couple years. Like, no, like
Right.
that's not, like, realistically speaking, that's not, I don't want to like, I don't want it to all happen all like right away. Like I need that time for like a woman and like a wife, just to be a woman and a wife first before I am a woman and mother and wife and taking care of my mother-in-law.
Do you feel like you're a woman right now?
Yes, but I also want to be able to be with my husband first before I'm with my husband and children and mother-in-law.
So you want to go like in that order?
To me, that
How
needs
long-
to happen first.
How long do you want to be? But like, do you feel okay? Let's break all this down and like listen to the particular things that I'm saying here, because like when I say, do you feel like you're a woman? Like, do you feel like you yourself have accomplished everything that you've wanted to accomplish as a single person before you enter into a marriage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's good then.
Mhm.
That should feel pretty positive,
Yeah,
right?
there's nothing, I think, because like there's nothing where I'm like wishing that I, checked off like
Sure.
my box.
Because
like,
I like in hindsight, I did.
mhm.
And it took me a couple of years to realize that
Yeah.
in my marriage of like, shit, like I wish, and not even just like the sexual stuff that we talk about on the podcast, but like
Mhm.
just like little things. Like I wish I would have traveled more alone. I wish I would have like spent more time and like cultivating friendships and like not just focused only on my career, my relationship,
Yeah,
like,
because I have all those things, and I've been able to like do the career
Yeah,
with my partner and have an amazing like friendships and family
Yeah.
relationships with my partner,
so
like that.
I think that's a valid first question.
Yeah.
Like, and to check that off of like, do I independently feel like I've done everything that I want to do?
Yeah, I have no reservations about being married.
Yeah.
Like at all.
Okay, so then let's go to that. Like, do you feel like that you're ready to be a wife?
Yes.
You ready
Yeah.
to take that on? And
Like, I've been
what does that
ready.
mean? What does that mean?
I think that to me that means like committing myself and devoting myself to being there for someone 100%, 100% of the time. And that's just who I am as a human, and like that's always what I've wanted in a romantic relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm ready to do that, and I have found the person that I want to do that for. But I also know that like being someone's girlfriend is different than being someone's wife.
Everyone says it doesn't change. It's similar. Like, it's similar. If you guys already live together, like,
Of course, but challenges
are
will
your
be
bank accounts
handled.
separate right now?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a big one. Like, I can tell
Right.
you to like focus on that too, because that is a big one to bringing two people together. Is
There's
how
a
you
lot
do your
of
finances.
There's going to be different challenges
Sure.
approached in different ways as husband and wife than boyfriend and girlfriend.
Right.
And it's important to me for us to do that first,
Right.
before we throw a baby in there, and before we throw another person and another person's opinion and another person's like idea of living in that.
Are you ready? Are you ready to be a mom?
Right now?
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay. So that's good to know. Like, that's something that you have got to stand firm in. That you're not ready for that.
I'm not, and I know I'm not.
Yeah.
Because I know when that happens, the relationship, of course, like as husband and wife, will always be there, but it does take, that is going to be put on the back burner for some time.
Has to be.
It has to be.
Yeah.
And I know that. And that's why it's so important to me that I have that first, because I don't, like, I've seen it not happen that way.
Right.
And I see the resentment, and I see like how that stuff falls apart. And like, I just feel like a mom and a dad cannot be, I don't want to be miserable, and I don't want to like be confused and overwhelmed. Of course, I don't think you're ever like truly ready, like, okay, like let me be a mom right now, you know?
Right.
I know that,
Right.
but I also don't feel like I am ready to do that yet. And I know I will be, because I know the responsibilities that I have to take on, but I want to be like ready to do that, you know? I don't want to be like unsure in any way.
Let's take baby out of it now. Are you ready for Garage Boy's mom to move in with you?
No,
Okay.
not right now.
Right.
Not right now, which is
So-
why it got so like real to me on how important it is that we get that first, and I feel that like connection and reassurance and like support from him, you know?
Right.
As a husband, because it can't all happen at one time.
So how did he respond to all this when you came to him and you were like, hey, like, here's how I'm feeling?
He he was like, he understood, you know, and he was like, I have been thinking about it too, and it definitely, because my thing too is like being around her, I'm like, this is happening sooner rather than later, because I don't want her by herself for that much longer either. Like, I don't, like, if I'm putting myself in his position, I talked to him about this, like, was that overwhelming to see your mom like that, because you haven't seen her in a while, and it's different talking to your parents on the phone from when you see them.
Well,
you can relate to that too.
Course,
like,
100%.
every time you spend more time with your mom, she's getting older, and it gets scarier.
Yep.
So I knew, like, for him, I'm like, was that a lot? And he was like, yeah, you know.
Right.
And so I'm like, because of those things, because this is something that we're gonna do, because I am willing and I want to, like, support you in that and taking care of her, these are the things that need to happen in order for me to be a healthy, supportive partner that I want to be for you, and that I want to be for your mom, you know. And so, and he understood, and I didn't want to, and I told him too, like, I don't want you to feel pressured, because this is the one thing, at least in my mind, that I didn't want to do. I never want to feel like I'm begging him.
Sure.
Or like telling him that's what I want, because then that's not right either. He can't feel pressured when he does it, because that's not going to be healthy on his half either.
Right.
You know?
And I think you've got a good head on your shoulder too with the situation. Julie G says, that's very smart, Jess. Marriage itself is hard, and you have to be able to have that foundation of being a team first. Yeah, 100%. Well, I mean, in Jess's perfect timeline then, because you're right, you're not getting any younger.
Especially, it's like, you know, he's like, oh, I want to have like multiple kids. I'm like, when? You know, like when?
Because, okay, so like in Jess's perfect world then, what would your timeline be for all of these things? I'm going to talk about marriage, kids, and his mom moving in. Like, what does that look like to you? In Jess's perfect world, what does that look like?
I would like to be married at least 2 years.
From now. Okay.
To married, like just him and I first before we have kids and have her move in, because the thing is like that's happening at the same time. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'll have my baby and then she comes. Like, no, like I'm pregnant and then she's gonna be in my house.
Okay, so you say you want to be married within the next 2 years.
I want to be married.
I mean, realistically, Jess, even if you propose today, it's going to be within 2 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's not going to propose today.
Yeah.
Because you got to plan a wedding. That takes, it takes time.
Yeah.
So you're looking at least 2 years out.
Yeah.
Ish. We'll just for rounding up, we'll do it.
Which is what I need to, like, even if it's not like, oh, I'm actually married in 2 years, but like even just like the time of being engaged and like the process of like just being husband and wife.
Right. You don't want to just like boom, like you have to like go through. So
Yeah.
let's just say I'm going to, even if we were to do it sometime soon, my prediction, by the way, is he's going to do it this holiday. That's my prediction. Jess doesn't think so.
No.
I think it's going to happen this holiday. Because they're both going back to Stockton. And that's where they're both from. And I feel like it's going to happen over the holidays. Both the families are together. There would not be a more appropriate time for that to happen again past the holiday. You guys don't have another time you're planning on going back, do you? And they're not going to fly everybody out here. That would be...
No, yeah, but like I don't even know if that's like that's an assumption. You know what I'm saying?
It's my prediction. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I'm nothing to make me feel that way other than just timing wise how long you guys have been together and when you're going to be around your families both. So that's my prediction.
Yeah.
Even so, okay, so let's fast forward. It's 2 years from now, okay? You've gone through the engagement, all that stuff, the wedding, okay. Now you're 30.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
How long do you want to be married before you have kids?
I would
In Jess's perfect world.
In my perfect world, at least 1.5 to 2 years.
Okay.
At least.
So, if it's 2 years, that means you're pregnant a year and a couple months into
30.
your first year of marriage.
Well, I guess later. I don't want to be pregnant
So
in year one of my marriage.
So you want to be married for 2 years and then get pregnant.
Or at least married. I guess I think like obviously like because of like my body and stuff, maybe I can't have 2 years. And I understand I can't have everything that I want.
This is what I'm saying.
But I at least need like 1 full year of like marriage only and space before everything happens.
Valid. I think that's
and that's what I had to explain to him. I was like, do you understand that will be the only alone time that we will have until our kids are grown up? Do you understand that? Ever. And I don't think that, because we hadn't had that conversation yet, because, you know, I think because both of us we've just been living our lives just like la 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 la.
Right.
You know,
because there's not been like
there hasn't been someone that's been like, hey, I'm gonna move in with you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, like, because it's always been, oh yeah, I'll get married and pregnant in my 30s. And now I'm like, I'm there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But we had to have a serious conversation because
Was
I know
he-
that's not something that was not on his mind. I could tell that he was in the same boat as me. He was like, oh shit. Oh shit.
Like, it's time.
Yeah.
It's
You know
time.
what I mean?
Do
and it did
you-
freak me out. It freaked me out that like I had to like say those things. And that's something that I'm working on. Like I kind of hated that I had to like do that because it makes me feel like that's not something on his radar, but it's not his fault not to like naturally have those
I think
thoughts.
that's a guy thing. I think we're just kind of like until some woman comes and saves us and puts us on a plan. I mean, honestly, that's what we do. Like, I'm just out here floating in this world until some woman scoops me up and then tells me what to do with my life. It's fine. Do you feel like he was receptive to what you were saying? Do you guys feel like you're on the same page with that?
Yes. I mean, yes, but I still don't trust him.
Trust him to be
Like,
married for a
no.
certain amount of time before you have babies?
I think I think just because I'm freaking out right now, it's like, yeah, I gave him all the information, but do you fucking hear me though? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like, do you like, and again, that was just the first talk that we had, but I think I'm just freaking out just because I'm freaking the fuck out.
Like, I could feel your mood change.
I'm
into that
freaking
bit.
the fuck out.
It was like a low key kind of like
no, at first,
lighthearted
I know.
bit.
At
and
first, I
then,
was like, oh, this is so funny. Then after, I'm like, I want to go home.
yeah.
You know? I just don't know if he like understands how serious that is. Like, cause it is. You know, like, yeah, you say that, but do you really know,
Yeah.
like, that this is the only time that we have, and like how serious it is to me for us to like be a team, and like
Right.
I need that support because it's his mom. Like, there can't be no like, well, my mom said, like, we have to be on the same page.
Because
Like,
you're kind of like the odd man out.
Exactly. That's why I
But
have
it's
to
like-
feel secure in that, and like that he's going to have my back on things, which is why I need that time so much to know that like we will work through things together. It's not going to be like, well,
Well, my mom said,
my mom
and
said,
me and my
and,
mom,
like-
me and my mom think that we should do this, and you're
because
outnumbered.
because at that point it has to be like a family thing,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
I don't know if any of you live, and I think I was going to call Holly, my friend Holly that does radio down in Tampa, because her mom lives with her.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that she talks pretty openly on their podcast about the struggles that come with that. But that's her mom.
It's her mom.
And I think it's even harder when it's not your mom.
yeah,
You know
it
what I
is
mean?
harder.
Like, it's
it is
not
harder
your,
because I'm getting to know her too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But if any of you guys actually like live like with your in-laws, I'd be so curious on how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
And like the struggles it present, or did it? Is Jess just overthinking this whole thing? Because maybe it's like, maybe since you are the odd man out, that like,
Yeah.
it's like,
And I just wish, like, I would always say yes, and I would have said yes no matter what. But I just wish it was like, it just would have been nice if he like would have asked if I was okay with that. You know, it was just like this, or even her, like.
so you're saying that
I'm like 100% in and like 100% take that responsibility. Like, I barely know her and I love her. Like, even being with her, it was such a natural thing to like take care
yeah,
of her.
it seemed like it was
Immediately,
perfect,
you know.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
it
yeah.
just would have been nice if like both of them or either of them would have been like, "Is that okay?"
So
And it wasn't.
Are you, with seeing them together, are you fearful now that you're going to be odd man out?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think that's why like I need that proof from like him that it's not
Mhm.
going to be like that, because like that was it just like. It bummed me out that like that wasn't even like a thing.
It was like, here's the plan. We're doing this, this, and this.
I just wanted to be asked.
Yeah.
Because it would just make me feel more secure in like future decisions or future things.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
and that doesn't mean I'm not grateful for her wanting to like devote her life to her grandchildren. Like, I love that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want her to be alone,
Right.
but it would have been nice to at least, maybe not even from her, but just from him. From her, like, I expect that, you know?
Sure.
But
Because
from him,
yeah.
it would have been cool if he was like, "Are you okay with it, or can we do this?" You know?
Did you tell him that?
No.
Well, he'll find out in the podcast.
I mean,
I'm pretty
I'll fucking tell him that later.
No, I'm pretty sure like that's the healthy way of communicating in 2021.
But
Is
you know
like
what I'm
you don't say
saying?
something to their face, you just record it on a podcast.
You guys don't do that? You guys don't Instagram live and cry and then just send it so that people can see it? You guys don't do that? You guys don't just send episodes to family members? You're like, if you're wondering, this is why I'm pissed. Send episode 48.
Thanks for the download, by the way. Leave 5 stars. That's a lot. So nipples. No, we can't talk about nipples now.
I hate you.
I mean, I don't think you're wrong, but I also think that like you guys got to get serious about it. Like you're right. There's really no time to fuck around anymore.
No, I know, but I don't know if I trust him.
And that's episode number 51, everybody.
I don't know if I
Trust him
like,
to
be as serious. Like, do you though? Like, I think that's what sucks. Is like, for me, I'm just like, I fucking like, I'm the one.
This
like,
episode's not getting posted. I can feel it. If you watch this on YouTube, this will never actually be posted. But what happened this week? We're like, I don't know. We just
deleted it.
We just deleted it. I mean, you got to tell him that shit then.
I guess I did. I do,
To be
but
fair,
I still don't know.
Jess doesn't trust anyone to do anything ever. Okay, so you have to also kind of remember that like you're coming in with that baggage, and like sometimes like do you? This is some real ass friend talk here. Like, is this how you want to spend the rest of your life, not trusting anybody, or maybe is it time to like figure that out? And that's some tough love, but it's like real talk. It's like, where does that come from?
I don't know, but it's like I don't trust him to do it, but I also don't want to tell him like you have to propose to me in 3 months because I also hate that.
Yeah,
I hate all of it.
yeah.
Because I don't want that either. I just wish he just fucking did it on his own.
So
know what
you
I'm
think
saying?
you're afraid if you don't have a hand in it that he may just he'll get around to it when he gets around to it?
Yeah, and not even in a bad way, but that's just because that's how this man is. Because he's just like fucking, you know.
He's a chill, literally.
He's the chillest.
Which is like great.
But that's what freaks me the fuck out. Because I'm like, I don't think you understand how not chill this is to me.
Would you ever propose to him?
No,
Ever?
no. Because that's the thing. One of my friends said that. He's like, why don't you just I was like, because the thing is, this fool has to do it when he's ready. That's the only way it's going to be okay for me.
Yeah, you don't want to have to like force him into anything.
No.
Nipples, am I right? I had a great segment about nipples today, but somebody had to go cry. Somebody had to have an emotional breakdown, so... I mean, I think there's no answer. The answer is everything you just said. I think you just uncovered a lot of things that are going through your own brain.
Yeah.
And now you just got to sort it out,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And, like, you got to trust people. You got to.
Yeah.
You don't have to, but, like, this is it, you know?
No, I
It
know.
all kind of compounds.
I guess we'll see.
Well, I guess we'll see. Next episode, we'll just be engaged.
I have my mom pick me up. I'm gonna call her. Be like,
That's a whole separate
can
topic.
you go pick me up?
I'm ready to not be an adult anymore. Let's go through a couple comments and then we're going to get out of here because there's just no way we can talk about nipples today.
No.
Darren. Is that Darren the flight attendant, Darren?
I don't know.
Do you know? Are you Darren the flight attendant? Darren says, breathe, Jess. It's easy to understand why the commitment hit you the way it did, but you have time. It really didn't sound like her comment was meant to rush you into anything. It just sounds like you, next page,
Dot, 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 dot,
you and Garage Boy have a solid foundation to build on, which is only getting stronger. Breathe, it'll all work out, and his mom will just be there when you two are ready. Okay. I think that's fair enough. Johnny E's checking in, by the way.
Oh,
One
no.
of our favorite. Hang on.
Johnny E's like, y'all crying in the next room?
Johnny
Yes.
E's actually working in the building right now. Johnny E, turn our power off in here so I can go home. He's our electrician / favorite.
He's so dumb.
Okay. All right. So the fun question is, how did Celibacy go this week? How did it go? Did y'all have sex?
Yeah.
Okay.
See,
When
that's...
his mom was there?
No. No.
When did you do it?
Never.
When did you do it?
Yesterday. The minute she
when
left.
she was gone.
Yeah.
But not once. I forgot about that. Good question, Johnny. Tiny T said, I lived with my in-laws for 4 years, and they were so great. Our relationship is still great. Jess will be fine. You're a great person, and she will love you. There you go. That feels good, right?
That's nice to hear.
Ileana says, Jess, I'm sorry. I hate to see you sad, but I know your feelings are valid. That's nice.
Thank you.
That's totally nice. And then Darren wants to end with this one. He says, Jess, the man was willing to put a wig on and dress as a woman for you.
I forgot about that.
So he has your back. You can absolutely trust him to have your back when it comes to all the husband things. All right. If you want to check in with Jess, you can get her on social media. Where, Jess?
At Just Do It, JESSDUITT.
Your podcast?
Lowkey podcast. I won't be doing an episode about this on there.
I want you and Garage to do an episode.
and talk about it?
Yeah.
No. He'll be like,
long pause.
7
7-hour episode. 14 words said.
Maybe.
I'm that guy Kramer. My life's not that interesting right now, to be honest with you. So we're talking about nipples. And Certified Mama's Boys, the podcast. So thanks for checking out. We love you guys so much. YouTube, thanks for checking in. We'll see y'all next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Hella therapy session.
I know.